Hey guys, and welcome to the second part of our correct render settings tutorial. In this part we will take a look at use cases for Corona's portal material and how we can decide whether we need to use the portal material and when we do not need to use it. So if we take a look at a first example, this is a very simplified example, but it basically shows you usually those, like modern villa houses or like modern houses, they will have these huge windows with like huge window frames, and the light doesn't have too much trouble entering the room. So if I just render this, you can see it renders just fine. There's not much noise anywhere. So this is the kind of scenario where you really wouldn't need to use Corona portal material because the light can find its way inside quite easily. This is kind of scenario where the window is smaller but still fairly large, but there's only one window in the room. So if you use Corona portal here, you will likely get some slight performance boost, let's say 10-20% faster noise cleanup overall. So this is kind of scenario where the portal light would already probably pay off. And so if I render it, we can see now how the environment lighting gets in the room. It's a bit narrower, and obviously there's slightly more noise, but this scenario could be still handled well even without portals, but if you use them you will likely get some performance boost. Now this kind of scenario where we have one or multiple very small light openings, that's where you will really save a lot of rendering time if you use portals and use them correctly. So let's say you have some bathroom with a really small bathroom window and you want to render it mainly using the natural light coming out of the bathroom window. That's where portals will come in really handy. So as a rule of thumb, you can think of the direct lighting from the environment sort of as a path tracing. It's a bit more optimized, obviously, but let's just create a geosphere. And let's say we are looking through the camera and camera shoots array and array lens here. Let's make a sphere here. That may be actually too much, so let's make 8. Now I'm going to select this. I'm going to delete the bottom half. So here is our sample, and now I'm going to select all the vertices and I'm going to extrude them and just shoot them outwards like this. And as you can see, a lot of those samples, or rather rays, would be able to get out of the room. I would say about, let's say, at least 20% of them would be able to find a way out. That's more than enough. And so this is kind of the scenario where it would be quite easy for the environment light to find its way inside. So you do not have to use portals when you have such a big opening. If you move it down here, as you can see, if we shut the sample here, the amount of the rays that would get out would be way more limited. Something like this. And this is about like 5-10% at best. And here is already where the chances of hitting the environment decrease a lot. So the portal will be a bit more beneficial here. And if I move it here, then you can see just a few of those rays would really make it out of the window, let's say like 1%. And so this means that you would really find portals to be very helpful, and you would see that they will speed a lot of your render time up. So this is kind of a nice visual example of how you can decide whether you should use those portals. So now that we have this established, I'm going to talk about correct portal placement. So if we create our portal geometry, let's say I'm going to create here. Oops, I'm gonna have to snap it somewhere. All right, I'm gonna snap the portal here. As a rule of thumb, or rather, it's a good advice to always keep portals as low poly as possible. It actually doesn't matter whether how many polygons your portals have, but just to keep your scenes neat, use the minimal amount of polygons. So we've placed our portal here, and let's now create Corona portal material. So just and if you click it, you see there are just some advices, but it doesn't really have any settings, so you just apply it to the geometry. And if you were to render it now, the scene as it is, the portal would be simply working. The face orientation of the portal doesn't matter, but what's important, really important about portal is its placement. This, as you see here in the window, is a wrong placement. The ideal placement of the portal light is perfectly outside of the window. As you can see, on the outside of the window frame, there's nothing behind the portal, no geometry. So this is and the portal sits perfectly on the window opening. That's the best case scenario you can have for portals. Very good, but less optimal scenario is when your portal is outside and it's larger than the window frame. This is still good, but it's not so optimal. Not very good case is where the portal is outside of the window and it is same size, because if we take a look, you can see there's this gap around here where the environment light will be sampled at a worse rate, and it will create some more noise around, you know, wherever the light entering from here would end up. So this is problematic. The really bad use of portals is when the portal is inside, larger than the window. This is bad, you should never do this. If you have portal like this is also bad. And even this is still bad placement, because in Corona portal lights it's not like in other renders. Portal light is sort of area light that projects, that's mapped with the color of environment in the direction. In Corona, portal light is just a hint for rays in which direction should they sample more. So let's say that you have portal here. This will mean, if we are looking through the camera, that the rays that land here will sample more in this direction, but they won't sample more only the window opening, but also they will sample more this geometry right here, and this can cause a lot more noise, because from this geometry it's usually bounce light, so those rays will sample more not only the easier to sample environment map, but also more hard to sample geometry bounce light. So again, as I said, ideal scenario is here. So if we put portal here and start render, you can see the look of our image didn't change. You do not see the portal. It renders as if there was nothing there, but it will render faster. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go here, and I'm going to correctly place the portal on the opening of the small window, like this. Let's get back into the camera. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set this object to not be renderable, therefore it won't be translated. And I will set our time limit to 15 seconds. I'm going to also increase the resolution slightly. And let's render our sample. Just give it a few seconds. And once this is rendered, we will enable Portal and we will compare our results with and without Portal. Actually, let's increase the exposure and render it once more, just so we see it better. Alright, open our ramp layer. Load this as our A. Now I'm going to go here, make it renderable and render again. And again, we will wait those 15 seconds just so we can compare it afterwards. Okay, let's open our ramp layer and let's load our second render as B. And let's get rid of all those windows. You can see how much cleaner we got our interior with small window in the same time. As you can see, this is the kind of scenario where Portal Light will help a lot. So again, this is without Portal and this is with Portal. Okay, now let's take our Portal back here. Again, do the correct placement. Just really quick. Again, let's not make it renderable. And I'm going to render. And now I'm going to show you how when your window opening is quite large, the portals won't give you as much of the render time boost. So just to make sure this is turned off. Okay. So again, let's open our ramp layer, load this as A. Now I'm going to make our portal renderable. And again, render for the same amount of time, 15 seconds. And load this as B. And you can see actually that in this case, activating Portal has made our render noisier at the same amount of time. So the render with Portal Light, the Portal material and Portal geometry enabled, after 15 seconds we are getting noisier image. So that means you should not automatically choose to use portals when you are in interior. You will have to use your own judgment to estimate if the light openings or the window openings are small enough for portals to be beneficial. They are not like instant solution for any interior. They will help only the smaller the light entrance to your rendered surface is, the more beneficial the portals are. But as you can see, if you use portals in the situations where they are not very beneficial, they can actually be harmful to the rendering performance. So keep this in mind. I hope you found this tutorial useful, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.